お使いいたしませ。転倒図鑑の際揺れがございますのでご注意ください。
Welcome back. We're doing more of this stuff. Sorry about the awkward angle. I'm assuming some people are going to be like, hey, dude, why does the angle look so bad? Because I'm not looking at microphones here. You're there. So apologies about that. My mindset is that the majority of the footage will be the stuff that I filmed. So hopefully that's alright. I think it'll be alright. And just in case you're wondering, that reflection on my glasses is my laptop. I'm making sure that the recording does not peak or do anything bad, because it can do that. So, day 2, we went to Mount Fuji, Hakone, and saw Godzilla. Gets better than you think. So, of course, we had our collective stamps and stickers, this top one being from our trip. That was actually the Fuji and Hakone bus tour by Sunrise Tours. And of course we had our Sky Tree stamp and 2 other stamps that I do not know what they are. They have not faded because of sunlight, they faded because they were printed like that, because of course stamps aren't perfect. So this is day 2, the 2nd of June. We woke up early for a bus tour to Mount Fuji and Hakone. Now, I'm not going to detail single thing, like what the weather was like, was it a warm day, was it a cold day? If stuff comes to memory, I will say it. I might skip over some details like, oh, we had to walk all the way to the train station. I'm getting to the interesting stuff, because I didn't write that boring stuff in there. So I started my day with a Georgia coffee. Damn fine. It was from a bunch of Twin Peaks ads that they did in the 90s with Japan. It's Georgia coffee. I'm actually not surprised that it's still around today. And it's pretty good coffee. So if you ever go to Japan, Georgia coffee, hot or cold, good. So was introduced to take, like sake, which is like the alcohol. So take was our tour guide. He didn't drive the bus, of course, but we drove through Tokyo. Through the city, onto the highway, all the way to Mount Fuji, and we learnt about a whole collection of stuff. We learnt about the sports areas like golf and baseball and horse racing, which is very popular in Japan. They actually have these really big netted areas for golf and baseball, whereas for horse racing they actually have a traditional horse track. But of course gambling is not legal, so somehow they get away with betting. I don't know, it's weird. I don't really know the logistics of it all, but that doesn't really matter. But you could always see them if you were high up enough, which was not like if you're on a train and you're high in the air, which is most of the time, because it's a very tight city, so everything's layered on top of each other. Like the bottom layer could be cars, and then the next layer could be a pathway full of people, the next layer could be trains, then more cars on top of it. Really hard, probably not on top of that, realistically. Some cars are most likely underground, and same with the trains. Depends on the city. So we actually saw the peak of Fuji quite early on the trip, which was quite nice. But then we saw it again when we passed this roller coaster park with a hotel that we would later have lunch at. Was that the one that we had lunch at? I think so. Anyway, because of course this is still early in the morning. I dozed off a few times because of motion sickness, but I had my headphones on to keep me company. But for the most part of it, I was listening to Take's explanation of certain details. He actually did a whole bunch of stuff, including showing us a magic box that Dad ended up buying. Dad bought a 7-step one instead of a 4-step one, like Take showed us. He had that classic coin magic trick where you put in the slot and you take it out and the coin's gone. Very easy magic trick, to be honest. Made the kids very amused, which was nice. And he made some origami, and he made an origami Fuji, an origami crane, the paper crane, and he had that string that you could do with your fingers, and I think he made a Fuji with that as well. And then he also sung a song, which I don't know how much of it I filmed, or if I filmed any at all, but he sung a song, both in Japanese and English, which is a song about Fuji, which was quite nice. We passed the roller coaster place, drove up a bit of a twisty mountain, drove on these little bumps on the road. They're like a strange kind of it's a strange kind of design on the bitumen that actually allowed for it to make kind of a musical sound when you drove on top of it, which was kind of surreal but really nice. I can't replicate it because I didn't take any footage. It's hard to take footage of that stuff anyway. I guess take my word for it, but it was nice. But then we got to a part where the bus driver saw Fuji and was like, here's a parking spot, we'll take a picture. So of course, here's a picture of me in front of Fuji. I don't look amused at all. Holy shit. Like, everyone on Facebook was like, dude, learn to smile. I was actually rather nauseous on that trip. Not too bad, but I was like, morning trips and, nausea, it doesn't really help with me. And so I obviously did not look very happy, and hence the photo. I did like it though, it was quite nice, but I think it was also partially, you see the pictures of Fuji has the white on the top. This one didn't really have the white on the top. I feel like I'd been lied to. But later on in the trip, especially that day, plus actually at the very end of the trip, saw it again, and it was just perfect Fuji.
Just see your head.
A bit of jump. So we stopped for photos, then we continued to Station 5, where literally 2 minutes up the road, and it was full of fog. It was incredibly cold. We were in t-shirts and jeans, and it was incredibly cold. But we didn't have a jumper or anything, or a jacket, which was fine, because we were going to go on the bus anyway. We had like half an hour there to look for some stuff, and I bought myself, I think I got a free bell, because I had a token for it, because it's like, oh, thanks for coming to Fuji, here's a bell. For reference, because probably people are going to be asking, oh, when are you going to show us all the stuff that you bought? I will do a final video after all of these where I showcase all of my stuff that I bought. It's too much for to tie into these videos as it is, given how much I talk. So yeah, I just figured it'd be easier that way. So I got a money purse for my mother and for myself, because my wallet was it's the same money purse. I bought it for myself, and I was like, I'll give it to Mum once I'm done the trip. It had all these different designs on it with Fuji and the cat, and like all these paper crane, I think a Buddha. It had it was perfect. It had everything Japan on it, and it was beautiful. And because my wallet is made of paper, it was definitely easier to carry a money purse, especially because I use a lot of coins for change, which is annoying, but at the same time you get used to it. I don't think I might have gotten a badge or a keychain or something. I can't recall, but it'll be in that last video. We continued back down to Fuji for lunch. So back down Fuji for lunch at the hotel next. I think it was next to the roller coaster park. It was kind of strange. I can't remember perfectly, but I think it was. We had sushi and fruit with chicken and seafood. So there might be pictures of that on screen. I think so. I usually took pictures to brag to friends and family about what food I was eating. It was like, hey, look at this. I'm keeping up a diet. Hey, So that was nice. So then we continued to Hakone, where it was actually, we drove to a port, where we caught a boat, very fast boat, but smooth, especially on a very flat water. And we learnt of the sea dragon, like some 7-headed dragon or some, knockoff of, I wouldn't say it was a knockoff, but it's pretty much like Nessie from, Scotland.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Lake Ashi cruise boat today. We will now head to Moto Hakone via Hakone N and Hakone Seksho Aka. The travel time will be 15 minutes for Hakone N, 30 minutes for Hakone Seksho Aka, and 40 minutes for Moto Hakone. Please enjoy the
Did you get getting on?
that changes from
No, I
season
didn't.
to season. Our motto is
Cancel that
safety
bill.
first.
It was a short trip on the lake, and then we caught, and there was a small torii in the water, which was one of the first torii I think I saw. And we actually dropped off at Hakone-un, which actually wasn't Hakone. Hakone was actually the next stop. So we never actually went to Hakone. My dad was a bit disappointed about that, but he'd already been there, so yeah, it was alright. It was just because you could get a really good view of Fuji. But we actually caught a ropeway up to the top of the mountain, where I caught a little bit of footage, but then the guy was like, you can't take photos here, so we had to go around the building, which was only because people, it was like, so you didn't get in the way of people, so, you know, because people were trying to get through to the main gate once you'd gotten off the sky rail, but I was the last one off, so I was like, okay, calm down.
It's miraculous.
Outside, please. No photo. Outside, please.
But there was multiple different vantage points, so right now I'm going to display all the footage that I took. Oh my god, it's beautiful. It took a whole bunch of footage. Showcase. It was overall a cloudy day, but it kind of worked to make a lot more interesting footage. And because, you know, here's Fuji. There's Fuji's gone. Fuji's back. Fuji's gone again. Yeah. Additionally, on this trip, we actually stopped off a second time outside of the station, outside of the first stopping and the station. I think it was on the way to Hakone. We actually saw Fuji behind us without the clouds, and we went up to a vantage point that the bus driver knew about, and we were able to take a bigger shot from there, which was really nice. That was before the boat trip. Somehow I haven't actually written that into here, which is really strange. So we departed on the bus one last time to Tokyo. We actually bought some shirts there. I bought a Japan shirt for myself. We got one for Sam and Noah, and Dad got his mystery box. And I think that was all we bought. Yeah, I think so. So then we got on the bus and departed back to Tokyo, which was like a 2-hour long trip, and I was asleep, then I wasn't, because it was just a lot of looking at motorway and traffic, and it was kind of boring. Yeah, but we got off the bus in Shinjuku, and bought tickets we went straight to Toho Cinema, bought tickets to see Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which was, I mean, we saw it they had English dub and they had Japanese dub, and we watched the English dub, of course, even though my friend said it doesn't really matter, all the dialogue is exposition, and it was. I think I gave the film 3.5 stars, because it's definitely a Godzilla film, having watched Godzilla films my whole life, and having almost every single Godzilla film. Actually, I think I have every single Godzilla film in my collection, so I'm quite a big fan. I didn't like the 2014 film, but I liked the Kong film, so going into this, I'm like, the trailers make it look so awesome. It's exactly what I want. It's fucking giant monsters fighting each other. It's just giant monsters fighting each other. It just looks cool. And all those parts were amazing. Even the CGI was really nice. It was weird to see the creatures in CGI, given that I'm so used to the puppets, and I kind of preferred the puppets. But the characters were boring, but it was decent acting, and there's jokes here and there. It wasn't bad. It was a bit, yeah, but it's you know, it's fine. I'm keen for the next one. And of course, I filmed some stuff from before the film, so here's some before the film footage.
It's gonna be scarier. It's gonna be a more intense experience.
恐怖はまだ終わっていなかった。イット、ジエンド、それが見えたら終わり。ターミネーター最新作からあのシュワルツェネッガーとリンダ・ハミルトンのコメントが到着。
It is great to be back and play this cool character again.
We have a story that people care about, and then some blistering action.
シリーズの生みの親ジェームズ・キャメロンがプロデューサーに復帰。監督はデッドプールのティム・ミラー。
I hunt Terminators.
T2 の正当なる続編とはターミネーターニューフェイト。あのライオンキングが
の謎が明かされる。イット・ジ・エンドの最新映像が到着。あの大ヒット作の正当な続編ターミネーターニューフェイトからは貴重な映像が。そしてライオンキングの監督に独占インタビューをさせていただいたので、
I don't know what you're saying. And after the film, when the film finished, like, we still had the credits, and it was still dark. Credits played. A few people left, I think, because they had to probably get a train or something to get home. Credits rolled. Played the main theme of Godzilla. Bloody cool. Gotta keep these videos PG. And then we saw the post-credit scene, and then it finished. The lights came on, and everyone left. No applause, no nothing. hardly anyone talked. Actually, no one talked the whole entire film because they have specific rules in Japanese theaters where, once the lights are on, you don't talk, your cell phones are off, and you don't leave the theater till the lights come back on at the very, very end of the film, at the very, very end of the credits, because they respect the filmmakers and the people who made every single element of the film, which was nice. Conveniently wasn't like a Marvel movie where you have like 10 minutes of credits, so that was good. It was worth it. 10 out of 10. So it was quite an experience. Right, so then we ascended the Toho building to the Godzilla Head, which we didn't think we could do, and because it turned out, like, we got to the door, and we could see the Godzilla Head, and it was like, oh, you can only go and see the Godzilla Head if you're a patron, either at the hotel or at the cafe, but the door was open, so we're just like, bugger it, let's just go inside. So we did. We walked outside onto the balcony, a security guard there, he was just making sure no one stole anything or broke anything, took a few pictures, took a big video. Look, there's a statue thing. He has inner lights. Jesus Christ. Over all of Tokyo. I don't know why they're scared of him. It's huge, that head is, and beautifully when it's lit up. Like, the eyes are golden orange, the mouth is like a purpley color. It's so cool. And it was just... it was kind of overwhelming seeing a giant Godzilla face. Like, seeing it from the ground, you're like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I'd seen a picture of it, like, 4 years ago when my parents went overseas for the first time and they saw it, and they're like, look, it's Godzilla, and there was, like, a Star Wars poster with it, and I'm like, this is so cool. It's such a cool picture. And then I got to see it for myself, and it's beautiful. I loved it. They had a whole display of posters from, like, every single year that they made Godzilla films, all the way through to the Shin Godzilla and even the 2014 Godzilla, and I'm very sure I had the 2014 and the King of the Monsters posters there as well, and it was very nicely done. They really welcomed tourists. They didn't have a very big store for it, but it didn't really matter because Toho Cinemas below it actually had a better store, which we actually bought a whole bunch of stuff. I bought a Godzilla King of the Monsters book, all in Japanese, but it looks cool. I, of course, bought this t-shirt. And I think that was all I bought there. Because, of course, I bought the Godzilla figure and the keychain the day before. So then we continued downstairs and around the corner for McDonald's for dinner. And we had a teriyaki burger, which is unique to Japan. I didn't like it. I actually thought it was quite disgusting. It was like a teriyaki beef plus a lot of some kind of soy sauce. I think it was just a teriyaki kind of sauce. And salad, which was fine. It was just kind of regular cabbage and mayonnaise, and it was like everything I hated in one burger, with two pieces of beef. Like the teriyaki burger there was two pieces, like it was a double teriyaki burger, and it was just kept slipping and sliding everywhere. It was rather foul. But I had I had a regular Coke, but Dad had I think it was watermelon Fanta, because they had grape and watermelon, and the watermelon one's green, and he had that, and that was quite cool, so I tasted that, and I'm like, that's pretty rad. So that was enjoyable. Yeah, and I also bought a Godzilla comic, which again is all in Japanese, but it's a comic, and it's like 100 odd pages or something, and it was like $10-15, and I'm like, that's really cool. So I really liked that. That was quite fun. Yeah, and then we went back to the restaurant. So we actually bought all the stuff, did all that, had McDonald's, then we went and saw the movie. But we'd already bought the tickets earlier. And then we went back to the ryokan to sleep. And now we're up to June 3rd, so this is all for this video, probably. This is at least all for June 2nd. The next episode, we're talking about Studio Ghibli, Museum, and Disneyland. So I'm going to have to talk a lot on that one, because Disneyland has a lot of music, and Ghibli you can't film inside. So, bit of a jump there. So less footage for Ghibli and a lot of footage for Disney, but a lot of the Disney footage has copyrighted music in it because it's Disneyland. So of course it does. So yeah, we will see you next time. And by we, I mean me, myself, and I guess. Cool. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this second edition of my Japan trip. Yeah, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. I'm obviously filming all these kind of in one go as much as possible before I have to go back to work and continue my life as it is, because I've got this one last week of holiday. Yeah, so obviously the first part linked in the description. Actually, the whole playlist will be linked in the description. I'm expecting that this playlist will be maybe 14 to 15 parts long. The last part will be, look at all the stuff I bought. So yeah, I will see you guys then. Adios.